Hi, this one's a very lengthy one, so let's try and nail it down in 1 minute. To start, the PvE mode will be revealed at Gamescom, so we don't have to wait very long for that one. Breach mode has had tweaks to make it more balanced beyond what we've already played. The 4 heroes will be bought with steel and by purchase, and if you purchase them, you will get a couple weeks early access, as well as the PvE mode. The free Season 8 update will come with Marching Fire and will bring Breach, the new maps, and any balance changes that happen. There's an extensive gear update. It will be replacing gear stats completely with a system called perks. We'll have more details on that later. We have the hero updates for Warden and Valkyrie. We have a new map called Secluded Keep. We have new weapons, 2, as well as the rank update that we covered last week was brought in this week. The level cap has been raised to 60, as well as giving us an effect for reaching that rep, and we have new content of the week. So those are your changes that matter today. You can jump in and play those. And if you want more details on that, go ahead and stick around. So, since I think it's the biggest new feature, let's talk about the gear progression update that will be coming with Season 8. They are changing how gear progression works with Marching Fire, as they can't scale gear anymore without changing game balancing, and that's a problem. So what they're going to be doing is replacing gear stats with perks. It will be an in-game effect for when the right gear is equipped and combined, and it will always be displayed on your hero. The effects are passive, and they will activate during gameplay based on certain criteria. They don't have value variation, the perks are always the same, so there's no difference between a legendary and a common perk. They will synergize with modes, feats, perks, and teammates. This means that loadouts will be actually useful. Perks are looking to be slightly weaker than a tier 1 feat, so that way they aren't a game changer, but they do bring a nice edge to your build. You can view perks on the scoreboard to keep track. They give us a preview of what this system might look like. You can have up to 3 perks at a time. There are 21 perks total, 7 offensive, 7 defensive, and 7 assistive. I think these would be like utility perks, such as Galestorm, which is a 20% movement speed for 10 seconds when you get a kill. So I think this would be the utility feat. You have Aegis, which is all shields are increased by 20%. That means if a Centurion gives you shield armor, or if you pick up a perk that gives you armor. And I believe Revenge as well. Then there's Shields Up, which is on spawn, or when revived, you receive a 15 HP shield. Then there's Devourer, which is an execution, grants an additional 15 health. And there's Remedy, which is hero kills, grant 10 health. So for this, it means you just need to kill them, not an execution. They're not trying to make a system that decides the match, and they're trying to balance between endgame gear and fresh perks. Some people may find the 3 starter perks to be the best pick. Then they discussed what is happening to your current gear, which is you are going to keep your gear score, your refined level, and your visuals. Your currently equipped gear will be swapped to a predetermined perk, and your unequipped gear will be randomized. This means you will have at least 1 useful set of gear already, and all of your unequipped gear will be random and hopefully give you some variety that actually works. So for those of us who have a full inventory at Season 8 release, you might get something that creates a full build. As for my personal thoughts on this, I think this change looks great. It seems a neat way to actually incentivize gearing to your personal level rather than whatever the meta tells you to, which as of right now is stack damage and stack revenge, pretty much universally across all characters. Being that you can only access some perks on some characters, I think that'll be a wonderful thing that will create actual synergy. Of course, this is just speculation based on the 6 perks we've been shown, as it could very well be that the other 15 of them are going to be complete garbage. But I have hope, even if I shouldn't, that this gearing system will be a success. If you think differently than me, I would love to hear it. You can share it down in the comments. But with that, let's jump to a new topic. So jumping into it, we have the fight team updates, and we'll start with the Warden. The goal was to give him a few more options in fights, starting with the Shoulder Bash. Shoulder Bash can be feinted in a massive window, basically everything from start to hit. It can be charged for a lot longer too, so that you can catch people who dodge early. However, you can no longer feint it into a guard break. Warden has a new move to catch the people who constantly roll, which is a forward heavy dash. To do that, you will dodge forward and do a heavy attack. His top heavy finisher has been changed to an unblockable. This forces them to actually react instead of just block. The reasoning as for why Warden was updated is because he was the first hero to be made for the game, With the new mechanics being added and them as designers becoming better at designing characters, they felt that Warden just needed a massive update, so he got a couple new moves. In addition, his crushing counter was given an update so that it gives you a quicker top light follow-up as well. Overall, just kind of makes his character a little more rounder, has some nice features. So now let's jump into Valkyrie. They wanted to upgrade her because she was very low for win-loss, and she's a very one-trick pony, being very predictable. She was not interesting to play or play against. So what they're doing is Shield Crush is now canceling a heavy, no longer just off of heavies. Every chain can be switched light heavy and heavy light. You get dedicated damage off of a sweep with a heavy attack top. This can hurt and interrupt teammates, so that should help balance team fights. At least that's what they told us. We'll have to see it in practice. Her shield tackle was changed to no longer give all block armor while running. This makes it less of a permanent get out of jail free card and more of a react and then punish. Her zone attack was buffed so that each strike deals 20 points of damage instead of 15, making it more incentivized to be used. As previously, you could just throw it a light and it would do more damage. And then as more of a fix than something to do with her hero update, they standardized her guard break recovery. They also gave her second lights in a chain a 400 millisecond attack time, so they should actually connect as a second hit. And in the same vein, her light finisher attack is given a special hit reaction that pushes the opponent and can cause stagger if they hit a wall or a ledge. And as another useful update, her shoulder pin deflect is a combo starter. This means you can lead into a sweep or any other combo, rather than it being a mode that switches you into neutral. Continuing onwards, we had a weapons showcase, and it turns out that this was actually an accident. These are not the Season 7 weapons, these are a showcase of the Season 8 weapons, so you can't actually get these in-game yet. Instead, we have two new weapons, one of which is starred and grayed out as a silhouette in your customization, and the other which is clearly visible. I think both of them look pretty nice, however I've only really looked at the Raider and the Highlander. But what we do know is that with Season 8, we will have pearlescence as one of the materials we can have on our swords. They also have a new oxidized bronze, which is the green, tan bronze that you see in real life on some of the very old bronze stuff. They have a bit less gold everywhere, but there is still gold. There's a Cthulhu Gladiator weapon set, which looks amazing. I've definitely got to pick that up. The Shigoki one has some nice fox art, and it just is a really impressive club. And Ubisoft wanted to let us know that they have not stopped making armor. There are new armor sets confirmed for Season 8. How new, we don't know. They may just be spikes, but it's been promised. For our next topic, we have just some general information here. We have the ranked updates, which adds ranked duel, which is not duel tournaments. It also brings back the ranked rewards for Season 3, 4, 5, and 6. We will have ranked tournaments on the weekends, and the reward system for tournaments is completely overhauled. The reputation limit has been increased to 60, so you can grind more if you were already at 50. If not, you might not care. There is a new effect exclusive to people who reach rep 60, along with a specific outfit. The effect matches the outfit and ornament of reputation 40 and 50. It is called the Sulfuric Sparks effect, and they know it's because you're toxic by the time you get to 60 anyways. They have pushed a change for revive to only give back 50% HP. Revive times were also properly increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. They attempted to do this before, but did not get it to function properly. They've also added a timer to matchmaking, so when you're sitting in queue forever, you will see just how long forever has actually been. You can now disable quick chat on all platforms. Fate Lux no longer does damage. That's just a general feat change there. And all traps have had their cooldowns increased. They're hoping that it will help the trap spam in Dominion, but I personally don't run into that a whole bunch, so whatever. We will have an event to celebrate the release of Season 7, however it will not be happening today. It will be happening sometime in the future during Season 7, and it will be very hot. Roman says it's based on the volcano, so we'll just have to see. From there, we have the new content of the week. It is a mood effect, so you can go ahead and pick that up for Steel. We also have some breach changes given. They are changing the way officers block, so they will be less blocky compared to the E3 build or the technical test build. This will mean that you can chew through the bigger minions easier. The flag has been nerfed, the respawn time is longer, so players can no longer use them as often. It was really ruining the flow, so they went from every 90 seconds to every 4 minutes. The Guardian, the character off to the side of the map, is still being tweaked, so his full buff isn't disclosed yet, but he grants a large combat bonus to the team in the area when they kill the Guardian. It's a super boost right now, giving armor, damage, and run speed. The Lord has also been tweaked to become immune to certain feats. If I would hazard a guess at this, I would say they probably made it so Catapult doesn't do half his HP. And as a tip to new players, which at this point is everybody, boosting the Ram gives you a speed increase on all actions, which is both move speed and the time it takes for the Ram to strike. This boost is like a Dominion zone, so one player is needed to boost it to full. You don't get a bonus from having more than one person on the point. And then to wrap up today's stream, we have the Secluded Keep. This is another map made by Gobo. It is a tribute map, which means it's available for all game modes besides Dominion. It has a lot of verticality with 3 layers all over the entire map. This map is the place where Nobushi and Warden are going to have their wedding. Actual snippet from stream.
This is where Nobushi and Warden are going to have their wedding. In front of that.
There's tons of accessibility with many paths to run around on, and in addition to being able to go everywhere, there's also traps to be placed around. So if you're playing skirmish or elimination, there's actually fire pits that you can throw on top of people, boiling cauldrons. There's a very short distance between the 2 bases in Tribute, but you cannot go through the middle. On skirmish and elimination, you can actually zoom around the entire map fairly quickly. With that said, it is not a small map. They took quite a bit of time to showcase the whole thing. It is a decently sized map. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it has different tones depending on where you are on the map. The right side is pristine and lived in and luscious. The left side, on the other hand, is destroyed ruins with like cataclysmic aftermath all over the place. I'm a bit disappointed it's not in Dominion because those are the ones I play the most, but it does look fantastic and I can't wait to try it out in some Tribute. There is another little bit, but I don't want to include the whole thing in this recap, as I do think it holds its own and deserves to be seen. But we had the Foley on to explain and show how they do sound design, with various smaller videos showcasing the development of sound. Sadly, the behind the scenes were recorded with the camera microphone and not the studio microphone, so the audio isn't quite as good as what we hear in the game. And some of the little bits that I pulled from that really stood out to me is 1, that it's totally awesome, and 2, he was asked if he needed to embody the character you make sound effects for. His answer is a little bit. You have to consider the size of the person, especially with footsteps. You need to change how you walk. As a note, he did Batman at one point and couldn't quite nail it down, so he went walking around the city for an hour thinking about how Batman would walk. He went back to work, said, "I'm Batman, don't talk to me," and he recorded Batman. I thought that was a wonderful thing to share. That sounds like quite the commitment. And as a third note, they tend to destroy a lot of fruits and vegetables for sound effects. So I will let that promo reel roll out here, of course leaving the sound effects to be heard. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the battlefield.
Also, this is a little tidbit of an announcement. God damn it. This is a tidbit